Good evening and welcome to ISW Council's special web series on women's health, START, supporting treatment in assisted reproductive therapy. I'm Anisha Nayar Dhawan and you're watching our exclusive show on women's health supported by Bharat Serums Vaccines under its public awareness initiative. The COVID pandemic has put the spotlight squarely on our health. The arrival of the vaccine and the start of the inoculation process has brought hope to millions who want to stay safe and return to their pre corona days. But there are many who find themselves in despair as some of their dreams have suffered a setback because of the many restrictions of the lockdown and the fear of COVID-19. I'm talking about couples who dream about starting a family but are unable to do so because of infertility. Infertility over the years has emerged as one of the most common health issues that many young couples are facing. According to the Indian Society of Assisted Reproduction, infertility currently affects about 10 to 14% of the population in India, and the scenario is worse in cities where one out of every six couples is impacted. Our show today is special as we're going to discuss all aspects related to fertility and IVF treatment. Bharat Serum and Vaccines Project START is an initiative that aims at providing support to couples beyond medicines with initiatives like microfinancing the treatment and counseling. Project START encourages couples to stay on course for their IVF treatment to achieve their goal of parenthood. Today, we'll be discussing, is it safe to take infertility treatment during COVID-19? There might be many questions in your mind on what you should do to succeed in starting a family and whether you should seek treatment during this time. On our show, we have an expert who is joining us to answer all your queries. Please welcome Dr. Rajul Tyagi, founder and director, Javitri Hospital, Lucknow. Welcome to the show, Dr. Tyagi.
Hi, hello, good evening.
Dr. Tyagi has completed her medical and obstetrician's qualification in Lucknow from KGMC, and she has extensive training in infertility treatment abroad. Now, before I begin our conversation, I would like to request all our viewers to keep sending us their questions in the comment box. Just type it in, and we try to take up as many questions as we can during this show. Also, do like and comment with your feedback and share this page on your wall or with your friends if you think that they'll get benefited by it. So let's begin, Dr. Tyagi. Just when we thought that COVID is completely under control and the vaccination process is started, we are hearing of sporadic cases of lockdowns being imposed locally because, again, cases are springing up again. So is it safe to seek infertility treatment during this time? Is it safe to go to a clinic and meet a doctor and get yourself investigated?
Yeah, nowadays, part of the COVID is quietly under control. Of course, some sporadic cases are coming in Mumbai and Maharashtra and this one in South. But now people have, after the initial 3 months of strict lockdown, we stopped working. We didn't work at all. But after that unlocking phase 1, phase 2, and phase 3, this gradually started working. And nowadays, I think each and every IVF center is fully equipped to take precaution against COVID. So we have, now you can go ahead with the infertility treatment. Little bit safe. If you are going to a proper center where proper triage areas there, proper social distancing, and this thing is there, then you can go ahead with this ART treatment.
Right. Dr. Tyagi, can you tell us what are the protocols that you follow, and is there any standard which is laid down? Because as much as I understand that the International Association for Reproductive Treatment had initially said do not go for fertility treatment because we do not understand how this new virus behaves in infants, etc. And then, they decided to continue with treatments and follow protocols. So what protocols do you follow? Are they any laid down by any government body or a regulatory body?
Yeah. The American Society of Reproduction, ASRM, has laid down the few protocols. Even our Indian society also has laid down the protocols for continuing starting the infertility treatment. So in that protocol, first of all, we have to make first a triage area. Then if the patient comes to the center, he has to go to this triage area first, and we have to give some questionnaire. He has to fill that questionnaire. After that, he has to come for the reception. Again, before consulting to the doctor, he has again go to the second triage area. And after proper counseling, after proper questioning, he has to seek the consultant. One thing, and we have to minimize the appointments. And we have to minimize the relatives and her another spouse and all. We have to minimize these things. That is the first thing. And try to minimize the appointments by doing the conversation, by giving a advice, telephonic advice or electronic media, by using of electronic medias. That is the. And we have to see whether any patient is having any symptom or not. If the patient is totally symptom free, then we have to, before starting the treatment, we have to properly counsel the patient. We have to take a consent for the treatment, that during the treatment, during this procedure, she may get COVID, and we have to postpone the case, abandon the cycle. So we all have to explain. But and if we are keeping the proper norms, we have to take precaution. We have to use PP kit. That's all. And we have to train our staff also. That is the way. And suppose during the treatment, if she gets some COVID infection, we have to abandon cycle. Or if she has got the ovum pickup, then we have to freeze her gametes. That is the.
All right. So if you contract the virus during the course of the treatment, then the treatment is put on hold. But most of the consultations are done online, which do not require, sonography or a blood test, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So, Dr. Tyagi, can you tell us what is triaging? So, if as a patient I'm walking into a clinic, what does it entail? What do the patients have to do?
First, the patient has to come. If suppose they comes to their clinic, you have to give a questionnaire first. He has come from which area? Is he having any symptom of fever, cough, cold? Is there any contact with the COVID patient? Is there any family history? Family has had a COVID patient. This type of things we have to ask in the triage.
All right. So basically, there are oral questions that patients have to answer.
And we have to see the temperature. First, we have to see the temperature. We have to sanitize the hand, and we have to that whether he is using mask or not. So we have to be very particular about the mask. And in our hospital, we have the triage area and we have the sanitizing room. So before entering to our ART center, patient has to walk through that sanitizing room.
And how do you ensure social distancing? Because 6 feet is recommended. So how do you ensure that?
So we have already the minimum appointment. We have a small clinic, small area of sitting we have done, and we have made the team that this will these 2 patients. This lady will see these 2 patients. So this is that is the way to reduce that contamination, physical contact. And first thing, we have to train the patient about the social distancing, wearing mask, and physical.
Right. This is more of a subjective question, Dr. Tyagi, but I think I'll ask you this. Now, you have been seeing infertility patients for years, and last year was truly exceptional, and some of the spillover even continues into this year. Now, what do you advise those couples who suspect they are infertile? Should they seek treatment? Should they hold it off for some time? Because not everybody has the luxury of time. They may be older, and they may not. Waiting for them may not really be sensible, and nobody knows when this whole thing is going to come to an end. So, what's your advice to people who are still on the fence, not sure whether they want to take the treatment or start the treatment now?
See, if the patient is elderly patient, they are in hurry for starting the treatment. Studies has shown that even the 180 days, delaying the treatment by 180 days is not going to give decrease of implantation or take-home baby rate. So we can, that strict lockdown period during the March, April, May time, it was the mandatory. But now now patient can go ahead easily with this infertility ART treatment. I don't think so. The proper care, they can go ahead. And especially the patient who are on a chemotherapy, or who are on a malignancy, the cancer patients, or they are just 39, 40, they are in hurry up. Okay, doctor, we will lose our eggs. We are short of time. So for that, we did their stimulation, and we freezed their gamete.
All right. So the option still exists for them to, get it. I mean, the quality of eggs and the embryos will be good because you've frozen them.
Especially at semen collection. So we used to tell patients, please don't give semen sample here, because it was recommended that semen may be having the COVID virus, for SARS virus. So they used to take the sample from the home. That is
all right. All right.
Taking the sample, it was a mandatory that patient should have the COVID PCR negative. First.
Okay. Before you take sample, the patient has to test COVID negative.
Yes.
Right. We've already started getting a few questions, Dr. Tyagi, and this question is coming from a Facebook user. She's saying, my pregnancy test came positive, but right after my test, light spotting has started. Is it good or bad? I'm very scared. Please tell me what I should do.
Yeah. Just after pregnancy test positive, sometimes you have a spotting, that is, a implantation spotting. You should not be worried. You have to take a little bit rest, and you have to look for take some medication like a progesterone hormonal support, and you have to check your thyroid and blood sugar level. If your thyroid is okay, your blood sugar is okay, your BP is okay, so it's better to take a hormonal progesterone support, and you contact your nearby doctor and get one sonography if possible. Then it is better to get a sonography done. According to that, we have to see whether this pregnancy, what type of pregnancy is this.
So you would advise that a visit to the doctor happen, right? You should not just wait, or should she wait?
No, you should not wait.
Okay, she should see a doctor.
Inform your doctor, either telephonic. If he calls you, then you have to go to clinic and get the sonography done.
All right, we've got another question from a Facebook user who's saying, I have low AMH, which is 0.57. Should I go for IVF with donor eggs or without donor eggs?
Yes, it depends upon the patient. What is the age? The age is also very important. 0.5 AMH, young patient can do a little bit better as compared to the elderly patient, which is 38, 39 years. Okay. So if AMH is 0.5 and patient insists on her own eggs, it is where then you have to give her own eggs by doing a double stimulation or doing some rejuvenating things with adjuvants, or nowadays we are started doing that stem cell therapy, that PRP and bone marrow stem cells to ovaries. So by this we can rejuvenate the ovaries and we can increase her egg production. By not much, but at least if she is producing 2 or 3 eggs, she can produce 4 or 5 eggs.
All right. So there some options do exist for those with low AMH, but who are younger.
Everyone is not ready to take a donor egg. No one wants to take a donor egg.
Yes, I think a lot of people would first like to try with their own eggs.
Oh, yes. They see their everything in their child, so they don't want it. I never prefer donor egg.
Definitely. We have got another question coming in from a Facebook user. She says, I am 32 years old. My weight is 110 kgs and was 120 kgs last year. I've been trying since last 2 years. Can I directly go for IVF? I am on metformin and inositol for a year now. So it looks like this lady seems to have been trying to reduce weight so that she successfully conceives, but for the last 2 years, she's not had any success. She's also on medication, either for sugars or for weight loss, whatever it is. What would you suggest now? Should she directly go for IVF?
See, basically, medication is not ideal to reduce weight. I think you should change your lifestyle. You should do a little bit of aerobics and all. Exercise should be there. And the diet, your dietary habits should be changed. You should not do any dieting, nothing like this. use a keto diet. Your calorie requirement should be adequate, but your carbohydrate requirement should be low, and your protein intake should be good. So your dietary and your exercise should be good. You have to change your lifestyle first. After that, because as suppose you get pregnant in this weight, so many complications. Overweight is one of the complicating things for infertility treatment as well as for pregnancy. And you will come in high risk pregnancy. So why do you want? So wait for further for 6 months and try to change your lifestyle. I think while lifestyle and dietary change, you can reduce little bit more 10 kg, and then you can forward go ahead with the infertility treatment. Already you are taking metformin and myoinositol, which are the drugs choice for infertility, especially in obese ladies. But with taking only these drugs, you are not going to reduce the weight. So you have to change your diet, lifestyle, and diet.
All right. But should she directly go to IVF? I mean, because I think they are step-by-step approach to infertility, right? Now, the weight problem may be causing a difficulty in conceiving naturally. But does that mean you go straight to IVF, or do you try some other infertility treatment options that are available?
Of course, we have to see what is the cause of infertility. Only we can go simple intrauterine insemination. If the tubes are okay, she's ovulating, she's producing good quality eggs, and her husband's semen count is okay, then we can go ahead with the IUI. At least 2 or 3 cycle, 3-month course of IUI we can give. We should give us a control ovarian stimulation by drugs or some injections with the mild, softer version with IUI for 3 months. If the tubes are good and everything is okay, then it's a simple treatment of infertility. Why to go for IVF? Of course, I am an IVF specialist. I will say go for IVF, but it is not IVF. First of all, simple treatment, then go ahead with the IVF.
So for this patient, it will be weight loss and better lifestyle. Then consult a doctor and seek out what infertility treatments are there. And only then, if nothing works, then think of IVF. Right?
And of course, yeah, IVF is the treatment, yeah.
Right.
And you don't have any option.
Dr. Tyagi, you said that being overweight is a risk to the pregnancy. How does it become a risk?
Of course, the high weight, if she's obese, she will have a lot of complication. She will develop the pregnancy-induced hypertension in the later part of the pregnancy. She may develop the gestational diabetes during the later part of the pregnancy. And during the delivery itself, she will have low lung reserves. So for bearing down, giving the vaginal delivery birth, bearing down will be difficult. And if she goes up, land up in cesarean, then doing cesarean for doctor will be difficult, giving anesthesia will be difficult, and post-operative period will be difficult for her. So obesity itself is a cause of abortions also. So it is better to reduce the weight.
All the complications you're talking about, Dr. Tyagi, seem to affect the mother in a pregnancy, being overweight. Could there be any detrimental effect or a risk to the baby as well?
Of course, why not? The patient, the mother is overweight, but baby may be growth retarded also. Or if she develops gestational diabetes, the child can also have a complication of diabetes like large size baby, lung immaturity, respiratory distress syndrome. So a lot of complication can be there in overweight patients.
All right. We've got another question from Facebook user who's saying, I'm 44 years old. Would IVF treatment be successful for me? I've had 2 kids 20 years ago. So she had her kids at 24 initially. There's been a long wait, and now she's thinking of going for IVF at 44. What would you say?
44. She is already having kids.
Yes, and that she had kids 20 years ago. So what would you suggest?
So if she is very keen to have baby now, she has one baby and now again she wants baby, so there's no option, only she has to go for IVF. But I have to see, I will like to do her sonography to see what is her ovaries, how are the ovaries, what is her ovarian reserve, and I will do her AMH. What did you say that time? What is the AMH? If the AMH is very low and ovarian reserve is not good, then I will ask whether you want a donor egg, then I will offer her for ovarian oocyte donation program. Otherwise, if her ovaries are pretty okay, they are producing 2-3 eggs, or her AMH is within 0.5 to 0.8, then I will go for a stimulation. I will try to produce, stimulate herself that she can have her own eggs. And what I will do her dual stimulation. Means I will stimulate her, I will do her egg pickup twice in 1 month. In one cycle, I will pick her eggs twice. So I can have a little bit more eggs. That is the way I tackle my patient.
All right. Now we're getting a lot of questions and they seem a little similar as well, but a request to everybody watching, when you send us questions, please mention details like your age and any other conditions that you may have, so that the doctor can answer your questions holistically after getting all the information. Now, we have another question which is coming from a Facebook user. The question is it possible to conceive after 40 years? I'm assuming this is natural conception.
Sometimes you can conceive, but it is not very frequent, very rarely. But you can conceive, depend upon the patient ovarian reserve, how frequently she ovulates. If she is ovulating, everything is okay. She can, up to 42, she can conceive herself, but very rare, not very.
All right. We have received another question from a Facebook user saying, I'm 32 years old and I've been married for 1.5 years. I've been trying to conceive, but I haven't. Could you suggest if I should wait and try naturally or go for IUI or IVF treatment?
How long is she married?
1.5 years, but she's 32 years old.
1.5 years, 32 years. I think she should consult her doctor. And she should take some sort of ART treatment like IUI, control ovarian stimulation, and time intercourse, 1 month or 2 months. Then for 2 months, she should go for 2 to 3 months, she should go for IUI. If everything is normal, especially her tubes, her husband's sperm count is, if it's okay, then she should, and ovarian reserve is okay, then she should go soft treatment, IUI or time intercourse. If anything wrong, or if she doesn't conceive with this treatment, then there's no option. She has to go for IVF.
Right. We have another question from another 32-year-old lady, and she's saying, my husband is suffering from low count and slow motility. Is it right time to take a call for IVF? Now, Dr. Tyagi, if there's a problem with the sperm, especially the count and the motility, isn't an IUI more effective, where you wash the sperm, then you take the best sperms and then, drop it off?
Yeah. But how low? How low? It is at 3 million, 2 million, then no. IUI is a waste. It will be the waste. Depending. If it is the 15 to 20 million, it's okay. If the count is less, no problem. And motility, and what about the morphology of the sperm? If the sperms are more normal looking, their motility is not good. But with the IUI, by preparing the sample with the medias, we can improve the motility and we can improve the concentration of the sperm. So IUI can be an option, but depending how much is the count, how low is the count.
Mm-hmm. So, Dr. Tyagi, if you just assume that the count is fairly low, then does IVF offer a solution?
Yes, then it is IVF is the only solution, and that too, IVFxc is the solution, not simple IVF. Count and motility is low, then IVF simply is not the solution. IVFxc is the solution.
What is IVFxc, Dr. Tyagi?
IVF is simple. You are putting egg and sperm together in a dish, so they are fertilizing. Sperm is fertilizing the oocyte by his own skill. Okay, but in ICSI, when the count is too low, or when the sperm morphology or the sperm shape or sperm motility is too low, then we have to take the sperm, pick the sperm, most healthy sperm, most motile sperm, most normal looking sperm. We have to pick that sperm and we have to inject directly one sperm into one egg directly. So this is injecting by our own effort. Yes, that is the intracytoplasmic sperm injection. We are injecting the sperm inside the cytoplasm of the egg. This is ICSI.
All right. We have received another question from Facebook user who is asking, what is the success rate of implantation of an 8-month-old frozen embryo and how to increase the implantation success rate? This is my first cycle and I had my first transfer. For transfer, everything was good. Lining was more than triple and PRP was done. Still, the cycle was not successful. What would you say here, Dr. Tyagi? Because whether you transfer a frozen embryo after a month or 8 months is the same. I mean, nothing happens to the quality.
Same. Whether you transfer after 6 months, 1 year, 2 years, it doesn't matter. But you said your PRP was done. Why PRP was done? PRP is done only in those conditions when your endometrium is not good. I'm saying your endometrium was good. No. If your endometrium is supposed to be good, then there was no need of PRP. PRP is done only in those conditions when your endometrium is not adequate. It is thin. It is not showing a good flow. So, for improving your implantation, first of all, you start taking some adjuvant like antioxidant. You start taking antioxidant. Start taking aspirin. You can also use vaginal use of the Signafil. This also improves the implantation. You can take a PRP, or you also can get a stem cell therapy in the uterus to get your endometrium. Or latestly, most advances, you can go for ERA test. ERA is endometrium receptivity. We are putting the eggs, but they are not sticking. So you have to see whether you are getting one, and you have to see what stage embryo the doctor is transferring. Why to go for an embryo transfer? Go for blast transfer. That is the thing. Blastocyst transfer, or you can use embryo glue also. You can do a laser hatching also. So this depends upon your clinic, what option they are giving to you. But ideally, I always give this type of option to the patient who are not getting implant.
Right. And anything that the patient can do? You said antioxidants is one. Anything else that can be done externally to improve the
healthy diet, no stress. She should be take out all the stress from the life. But I think infertility is a major stress for her. So yoga, start doing yoga. That is the only patient apart from patient.
Dr. Tyagi, we're just coming to the end of the show, and I'd request you to be brief. Could you tell us what does the ERA test show? And say, like she went for a frozen cycle, say my embryos are good quality and they're frozen. When is an ERA test done? If the test is result is not favorable, then what are the options? What is an ERA? When is it done? What does it show?
ERA is endometrium receptivity assay. It has been done in a previous cycle. So we have to see the patient when start ovulating or not. When we get the good endometrium, then we have to start giving progesterone. And according to our embryo, suppose we have 3 days embryo, or we have a 4-day-old embryo, or we have a 5 days old blast. So if we have to take an endometrium biopsy of the same day on which day we are going to transfer that lady. If suppose that day which we take the biopsy, our endometrium histology report, gene expression report comes to be endometrium is lagging 2 days or endometrium is advanced 2 days. Then according to that, we have to decide our frozen embryo transfer. If it is lagging, then we have to wait for more days. Or if it is advanced, then we have to reduce it. That is that.
So you're saying that the ERA test is done once and it gives you the best time to transfer in any cycle. You don't have to repeat the test.
No, ERA. If you are doing ERA, you have to transfer the embryos in the coming cycle or 1 month after that cycle. Okay. That's all. But you can't think today you are January, you did your ERA, and July you are doing the embryo transfer. No. Okay. So you have to do the next.
All right. Thank you so much, Dr. Tyagi, for joining us and giving us so much information about the new techniques that have come in for infertility treatment and all that is available in even IVF treatments. Thank you so much for speaking with us and sharing the wealth of your knowledge with our viewers who've had so many questions. Thank you so much, Dr. Tyagi, for answering the questions.
Thank you, Anisha. Thank you. Thank you. Well,
if you have more questions, you can send them to us through WhatsApp. Just click on the WhatsApp button on our page. And don't forget to follow us and stay updated on all the concerns about your health and well-being. This program is supported by Bharat Serums Vaccines under its public awareness initiative. We'll be back with a special show on women's health next week on Friday. Do follow us on Facebook to get all the updates on our upcoming programs. Till then, stay safe, stay at home, and have a good weekend. Goodbye.